come on in, pull up a chair and take a load off because today I will be unboxing and taking a first look at MourneQuest from Backspindle Games as I get all this glare on the box. I got to be honest, I'm very curious to see what's cooking in this cooperative fantasy game that's based on Irish myth and legend. I will be cracking open the game right after this. Howdy, 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 gang. Yes, I'm Jeff McAleer, back once again as your host here at the Gaming Gang channel. So today I am going to unbox and take a first look at MourneQuest, which, as I mentioned in the open, is from Backspindle Games. It is designed by David Bradshaw and Leonard Boyd. The game is for 1 to 4 players, ages 14 and up, and it plays in around 80 minutes. Does carry an MSRP of $79.99. It is arriving here in the US in Q4. I do not have a specific release date just yet, but it will be soon. So let's move on over to the other camera and take a peek at MourneQuest. So here we've got MourneQuest, a game of myth and legend. As I mentioned, it's designed by David Bradshaw and Leonard Boyd. Let's take a look at the back here. So we have some really tiny text. So it's like, okay, well, I guess I won't be reading that. Let's see. I'll throw my reading specs on real quick. It says, Journey to the Mourne Mountains, a magical realm of myth and legend, as one brave boy and a family of clerchkins, Clerichins? They're supposed to be like leprechauns, but not leprechauns. Embark upon an epic quest to save the kingdom of Mourne. Together you must gather your powers, grow in courage, build your strength as you race to cast out the nightmares of legend, the Marrow, the Changeling, the Dullahan, the Banshee, and ultimately face the mighty Shimnavol in a final battle that will decide the future of the kingdom and the world of man. So there you go. There you have it. Let's crack this on open here. I already took the shrink wrap off because it was really, really creating tons of glare, as you had noticed. So here we have the game rules. So I think we will take a first look at that. Let's move some of this stuff out of the way. And I will take a look at the rule book here. So we'll just page through this real quickly. It's not very long. It's not a very long rule book by any stretch of the imagination here. So we've got the game components showing us the playing board, the nightmare discs, some of the different miniatures that we've got. Talking about setting up the game. Talking about selecting your heroes. And the MourneQuest board in more detail. Then we get how to play in a game round. So we got a hero phase. We got an enemy phase. And those are broken up into other rounds within those. Talking about charms, enemies, encounter tiles. If you draw a movement tile. It looks like we're getting some pretty detailed examples as well. So that's pretty cool. So we've got combat. Heroes attacking, enemies attacking, and then the final battle against the Shimnivor. And this is kind of giving us, I guess this final battle is fairly detailed. So it's giving us a different, like an example here of what's going on. It's like the game ends, players lose. Womp, 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 womp. Okay, so talking about game levels. Easy, medium, and difficult. There's solitaire play. That's cool. Very nice. And that looks like kind of an overall example of play to wrap up. So 19 pages of rules. Got a quick guide on the back as well. So, what else we got in the box here? We've got some punch boards of counters and tokens. And I'm taking a guess, are these might be the tiles for encounters. These are dual-sided. So it looks like we've got some resources here with stone, wood. Like that's maybe a nature symbol here. So pretty cool. And as you can see, these are cut pretty well because they're just popping right on out. So that's the first one. Then we've got the next one, which has had a lot drop out. So here we go. Hey, I'm not complaining because sometimes when I'm punching counters out, if they aren't cut well, it can be a real pain. You got to be really careful not to tear the counters. So I'm not complaining that they fell out. So that's all right. As long as they're in the box, it's all that matters. There we go. Here's some of them. Some of these counters that have fallen out. We've got the Nightmare Discs. So a couple of those have dropped out as well. So we've got the Mero, who is sort of looks like a merfolk, merman. The Dullahan, which kind of looks like a ghost. It's got like what a weapon made out of a spine or something. Jeez. The Changeling, which I am familiar with the legend of changelings in Ireland. In fact, if you listen to the Lore podcast, which I highly recommend, it's an excellent podcast. There's an episode about early in the series, about changelings. And in fact, Amazon did 2 seasons so far of the show. And the first season of Lore also has the story about the Changeling. So, all right. So we got another counter that popped out. Right, so then we've got like the main board, which looks like we have to assemble the main board. Let's move this out of the way here. So we've got some different locations. So we've got, okay, so here we go. So we've got north, northwest, northeast, south, southwest. So this is the kind of the center board, and then it appears that you're going to take these nightmare discs and line them up. And see, we've got these numbers along here. We got some symbols in that. I think, depending on the difficulty, you're going to actually put this at a, you're going to line it up like this, it looks like. And you're going to place it at whatever. Like this looks like this is probably the starting point. But if you're playing a much more difficult level, maybe you move it to like 4, something like that. So that's how these work. Okay, so we get a draw bag. Just get a kind of a velvet draw bag there. Still have a few more tokens that are bouncing around. So far, this game looks interesting. It actually looks like there's more meat on its bones than I thought it would have. I got to be honest. And I have played only one other Backspindle game, and that was, I want to say, it is Dance of the Fireflies. The game where it's you're gardening and you're creating a garden, but there's like a lot of cutthroat take that in it, which is very cool. So we've got different miniatures here. I'm gonna take these out of the bags because we got. It looks like we got a few bags of minis, and I will actually zoom in to take a better look at these. So I'm just gonna take those out. We've got some. Looks like we got some character cards, character boards. Yep. So we will take a look at those in a sec. I think we'll save the miniatures for last. Pulling out some more tokens in that. Also got a deck of cards, which we will look at. And we got baggies. So we've got dice. got various different dice here. I'm going to move these off to the side because we're going to come back to those. Because those are like the big bads. So we got different dice. They are not cut. These are laser printed on. So it looks like this is like a combat die. Looks like this might be sort of. This looks like this might be a combat die too. So's this. Got gray, and then it looks like we've got movement. So I wonder if these are like how the big bads move around. That is a possibility. We'll find out. Of course, I am going to have a review of MourneQuest in the very near future. Okay, so let's see. So these look like these are monsters. These are, I think these are like minions. So we've got the bog beans, snipe, speedwell, loosewort. Now we get into some of the bigger bads. The Banshee, the Changeling. Don't be fooled by the Changeling. He can take the form of an innocent infant, but he's an ancient fairy who delights in making mischief. Changelings were supposed to be able to replace anybody, not just children, anyone, but they mainly like to replace kids. This is the Dullahan, the Miro, and the Shimnivore. Damn you, Shimnivore! Okay, so there are the baddies. They're just single-sided here. Then we've got the player boards, the character boards. So we have Grace. We have Bieth. We have Eor. Eor. I have no idea. I'm Irish, but I don't speak any Gaelic or anything like that. So, and it appears that we probably put some cards down in here. We've got blue, red. I'm sorry, green, red, blue. I'm looking at the blue talking here. So it looks like we've got maybe this is a courage card, strength card, and magic card. So we also have Tess. We've got Phineas Brogan. Cobbs. And then we have Jack. And Jack is actually the main character of the novel. He is a small boy. He's supposed to be like 11 or 12. So that is Jack right there. Okay, so let's get some of these other miniatures out of their bags, and then we kind of zoom in and take a peek. So it looks like these are kind of minions. These are cool miniatures, though, I have to say. All right, come on, you. Don't be stuck in there. Although, they are a softer plastic, so that means you'll have to treat some of these so that if you're going to paint them, so that they don't bend. Looks like we get 4 of each of the minions, 1 of each of the big bads, big or bads, because the Shimnivore is the big bad. And then we've got the heroes. For some strange reason, and maybe I'm wrong, but I thought there's a kind of like a collector's edition. Maybe this was only available through Kickstarter, but I thought there was an edition out there that you can get, and the miniatures are painted. So let's zoom on in. So this is going to be a little different because I have a different camera now, folks. So let's mess around with this a little bit. And as I'm zooming out, let's zoom on in. That looks fairly sharp. So let's take a look at some of these characters here. Take a look at some of the miniatures. So, yeah, I like how they actually have a little bit, some of them have a little bit of a diorama, right? So she looks like she's kind of sitting on something. Pretty cool, pretty nice. All right. These look like these would paint up really nicely. I believe that this is Cobb. I'll stick you with my dagger. And then finally, we have the protagonist, Jack. Very cool. Very nice. Okay, so then we've got the minions. So we've got, these are the bog beans. So we have 4 of each of these kind. So this was the one sort of bog bean. We've got the other bog bean. And then the third sort. He looks like he's kind of like armored. Looks like he's armored almost with a like a skull face, jack-o'-lantern face kind of thing. That's cool. That's nice. All right, so then we get the big bads. So here we've got, this is the Changeling. The Changeling here with a teddy bear. So it looks like the miniature itself is the same as the artwork. So I like that. That's cool. Well, for one, it helps as far as painting them too, because then you have a nice, cool little paint scheme, little guide for you to paint the mini. And I like how he's got the little teddy bear in his hand. He's got some blocks in front of him. It's cool. I like that. So that is the Changeling. Then we have, might as well just use these cards here. We've got the Miro. So get a lot more to this figure here than the artwork shows. But that is pretty cool. Look at that, even detail in the eyes. I like that. That makes painting a lot easier. Okay, so then we've got the Dullahan, which is this kind of ghost figure. Right, he's got like, I swear this whip looks like it's made out of a spine. Or spines. So that's this mini here. Then we've got the Banshee. This is a pretty big mini. Very cool. Nice. So that is the Banshee. But as I mentioned, it's kind of soft plastic. So as you can see here, this staff is kind of bent a little bit. So that's kind of a pain. So yeah, I dig these minis. These minis look really nice. And then finally we have the big bad, the Shimnivore. So it looks pretty wild. Looks almost like one of the monsters from the Max. So if anybody remembers the Max, which was a comic book, and then it was an animated show on MTV way back in the day. So that's cool. I like that. All right, so let's look at these cards. We got it's like a small deck of cards. As I mentioned, it appears that we've got some slots on the for the characters. Well, that's nice. I just pulled the little band, and it didn't really open up the deck. Come on, you. There we go. Jeez. So as I was saying, it seems like we've got a bit of a like slots for various different cards. So got a banjo, Sisters of Heather, Fairy Ring, Royal Fairy Ring, Dandelion Clock, War Dog Howl, Trom's Waistcoat. Okay, so these are all just, maybe these are items. These seem to be item cards. Okay, so then here we've got, as I had mentioned before, so with the large character cards here, character boards, player boards. So it looks like we got a slot for magic, right? So we can put our magic items here. So we got Cobb's hat, House Backpack, Book of the Elder Folk. So, and then we've got a number here. So that must boost up their magic skill number. So we got those. Then we've got Courage. So these are going to boost the Courage number. Okay. And then we have Strength. A Spicicle, a Spider of Ice. Okay. Banshee's Comb. Oh, you know, maybe you get some of these for defeating some of the monsters, some of the baddies, because this is the Dullahan's Jerkin, Dullahan's Sword, the Dullahan's Whip. And then it looks like, I'm not sure what these are. I wonder if these are just kind of, they have the same back to these? Yeah, they do. It's kind of a special thing. Hag Transfixation, Mist of Memories, Down Our Detour, and Pot Luck. Okay, all right. So, we've got the deck of cards. We've got all the big baddie miniatures. We've got the different minion miniatures. We've got all the hero minis, as well as the player boards, the baddie cards, the monster cards, with the bog beans and the other creatures, as well as the big bad Shimnivorik. We've got the dice. We've got the draw bag. We've got the pieces of the center board that we're going to end up putting together, as well as the Nightmare discs right here. And then we've got a couple of punch boards with counters. We've got counters and tiles and stuff that have already fallen out. I also have a miniature that I left sitting there. Oops. There we go. And then we've got the 19-page rule book. And that is what we find when we take everything from MourneQuest outside the box. So, as I mentioned, I will have a review of this in the very near future. Let's switch on over to the other camera. All right, there's our first look at MourneQuest from Backspindle Games. Looks pretty interesting, and I will point out, I will have a review of the game in the very near future. That's it for this time out. Be sure to join me live Mondays through Fridays at 7 p.m. Central, right here on YouTube, for The Daily Dope, where I bring you the latest in tabletop gaming news of the day. Of course, if you like this video, please give it a quick thumbs up. If you like the channel, by all means, please subscribe. And if you do, don't forget, ring that little bell. It will not only notify you of when the live stream pops up, but it'll also tell you when I've uploaded standalone videos, just like this one. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer. When you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, comics, movies, TV. By now, you know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. I will be back next time. And of course, until then, happy trails. Doobadoo-ba-doo-ba-doo-boo-boo. Zoobadoo-ba-doo-ba-doo-boo. Zabba-dabba-dabba-dabba-bum. Zibba. Whoa, hey. I didn't realize that you were still here. Well, if that's the case, then allow me to share the following information with you that I only have 20 seconds to do. So let's all take a deep breath. So, if you would like to subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel, please click right here. If you want to check out the latest episode of The Daily Dope, click right here. And if you'd like to check out a randomly selected standalone video by all means, click right here. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer, and thanks for watching.